Perhaps none of us is truly as peaceful as we appear on the outside. Whether standing in a crowded room or sitting quietly behind a screen, we all experience moments of exhaustion, anxiety, or at times find ourselves paralyzed by our own fears and disappointments. There are days when we keep smiling, still fulfilling our responsibilities, yet inside, there's a relentless noise of self-criticism, blame and worries about the past or what is yet to come. This is the silent battle each of us must face. A battle without gunfire, but one that shapes every decision, every emotion, every moment we live. I believe that the quality of our lives reflects exactly how we perceive the world and ourselves. Positive thinking can open the door to peace, while negative thinking locks us in a cycle of frustration. The fortunate thing is, we always have the right to choose our own lens. And to truly take charge of our lives, we must first learn to take charge of our minds. Stoic philosophy is more than ancient teachings. It is an art of practice that helps us clear away mental toxins and rediscover clarity and inner peace. Join me in exploring 8 powerful Stoic practices so that from today you not only live but truly become free within your own thoughts. Step 1. Break the daily negative loop. Have you ever had a negative thought snowball into a full-blown mental crisis? It's terrifying. There's nothing quite like the sensation, and I don't mean that in a good way, when your brain keeps replaying the worst-case scenarios over and over until you feel anxious, overwhelmed, or even hopeless. Whether it's a stressful event, social comparison, or just a tiny mistake, losing control can upend your emotional state in a matter of minutes. Let's be honest. There are mornings when you wake up, grab your phone, scroll through social media, and mindlessly read a stream of negative news. You see others succeeding, full of energy, while you just minutes after opening your eyes already feel weak, not good enough, not fast enough, not strong enough. Sometimes just a single negative comment, a notification, or someone's glamorous photo is enough to drag your mood to rock bottom. And so the loop repeats. You avoid your true feelings by burying yourself in work, or worse, you turn to junk food or alcohol, things that help you forget life for a moment. But right after that, the emptiness rushes back, even stronger than before. Have you ever stopped and wondered why the harder you try to forget, the more these things haunt and cling to you? Scientists have pointed out that this is far from rare. According to Steve Ilardi, Associate Professor of Clinical Psychology at the University of Kansas and author of The Depression Cure, when you get caught in repetitive thought cycles about what's happened or what hasn't yet happened, failure, shame, anxiety, fear, your body becomes flooded with cortisol. This chemical triggers the brain's out-of-control stress response, sending you into a prolonged state of stress and increasing your risk of depression, anxiety, and high blood pressure. You eat mindlessly, sleep fitfully, and struggle to focus, and the vicious cycle of negativity becomes even more entrenched. My friend, you are not alone in this. The scariest thing isn't what's happening out there, but when you become a prisoner of your own mind. But I'm not saying this to make you feel more hopeless. I'm telling you so you realize it is you, and only you, who can break that cycle. No one else can free you from the storm of your own thoughts. And here's the good news. You can always start again, even with the smallest actions. Stoicism calls this process recognition and setting boundaries. It's not about denying or avoiding emotions, but proactively observing, this is a negative thought, not me. This is reality, but I decide what I'll do next. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Sometimes real strength is in simple acts like putting down your phone, stepping outside, breathing slowly, and becoming aware of what's happening in your mind. Did you know that just 2 minutes of moderate to high intensity exercise a day, just 2 minutes, can boost your focus, memory, and learning ability for the next 2 hours? That's the conclusion from a review in Translational Sports Medicine. 2 minutes for 2 hours of clarity for a calmer day. I think that's a great trade-off. I've tried it myself and realized that when anxiety hits, instead of curling up in the dark, stand up and move. Let your heartbeat pull you back into the present. You can't control every thought that pops up, but you can choose how you respond. Ask yourself, tomorrow morning when you wake up, will you start your day by repeating the old loop? Or will you try something new, simply putting your phone down, taking a deep breath, moving your body a little, giving your mind some quiet space? Change, even small, repeated over time, opens a new path. Break the daily negative loop, and you'll be surprised to find your inner self gradually returning to peace. Step 2. Challenge the inner critic. Getting past the cycle of negativity each day is only the starting line. Soon enough, you'll realize there's an opponent even more persistent than bad habits, the critical voice inside your own head. It's that constant, quiet, but razor-sharp whisper, sometimes gentle like a reminder, but more often it's harsh judgment. You're not good enough. You failed again. Others are better than you. My friend, I'm sure that voice isn't a stranger to you. We've all heard it. Some call it the inner critic, some call it the shadow of failure. And perhaps no one can escape it completely. But stop for a moment. Ask yourself, who is that voice really? Is it actually the truth, or is it just the leftover noise of fear, shame, and the meaningless comparisons that society piles on us every day? No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. Seneca's words drive home the point. The critical inner voice isn't there to silence you, but to be overcome, to be outgrown. Let me tell you the story of Kai, a successful man in his 30s with a solid career and the respect of his friends. But behind that glow is a childhood marked by scolding words and invisible expectations from his parents and society. You must be better than others. You must be strong. As he grew up, every time Kai made a mistake, no matter how small, that familiar voice echoed, "You messed up again. No one's as bad as you." Kai compared himself to friends and colleagues, always feeling less than, even if no one said it out loud. At night, he would blame himself, torment himself over past failures, never feeling like he was enough. There were nights Kai lay awake, wondering, how much longer do I have to keep pushing myself? Does anyone understand this loneliness? This is the toxic cycle of negative self-talk, fed by 3 familiar C's: comparing, criticizing, and complaining. Comparing is when you use other people's achievements as the yardstick for your own worth. Like Kai, so many people get trapped by social media, where everyone puts their best side on display, making their own life seem bland, unworthy. The first solution is to deliberately limit your time on social media. Instead, write down what you've accomplished each day, even the smallest things, reminding yourself that your journey is unique and no one can live it for you. Criticizing is when you become your own harshest judge, picking apart even your smallest mistakes, never seeing yourself as good enough. If you catch yourself doing this, try to debate that inner voice. Ask, if this were my best friend, what would I say to them? Practicing self-compassion is how you break the criticism loop. Every time you notice self-blame, remember, you deserve to be treated with kindness, especially by yourself. Complaining is when you see only the downside, grumbling about everything without taking action. Sometimes it's the mind's way of avoiding responsibility or real feelings. Try swapping every complaint with a small action. If you're tired, instead of repeating, "I never get to rest," take 10 minutes to meditate or go for a walk outside. Turn complaints into solutions. That's the first step to taking back control. Kai couldn't kill off his inner critic completely, but he learned to recognize it and face it with the calm of an observer. Every time it spoke up, instead of agreeing, he would pause, take a deep breath and ask, "Is this really true? Or is it just an old wound?" He started having conversations with himself that were compassionate and courageous, gradually building new mental pathways of empathy, strength, and wisdom. You don't have to stay silent before your inner critic, but you can grow bigger than it. Every time you face it, you're turning yourself into a stronger and wiser version of who you are. Try starting today with a fair perspective, a gentle word of encouragement, and a commitment that no matter how many times you stumble, you still deserve to move forward with your head held high. Step 3. Control the controllable and let go of the rest. Weightlifting is a demanding sport. It's not just about lifting heavier weights. It's a relentless battle with your own body, your willpower, and the fatigue that builds up after every session. In the early days, you'll feel not only the strain in your muscles, but also in your mind. Doubts like, "Can I really do this? What if I fail?" Or even, "Why is the person next to me making progress while I'm stuck in the same place?" Keep creeping into your head and dragging your spirit down. Chances are you've felt this not just in the gym, but in every challenge life throws at you. There's a lesson everyone has to learn, and the sooner the better. In this world, there are things you can control, and so many things that are simply out of your hands. This sounds simple, but in reality, most mental toxins come from us trying to control everything from the outcome of a workout, other people's attitudes, the weather, to big things like the economy or even fate itself. We're haunted by the belief that we have to keep everything in our grasp. When things don't go our way, we feel disappointed, resentful, and torment ourselves with a sense of helplessness. I once read about the story of Michael Phelps, the legendary American swimmer. Even after winning multiple Olympic gold medals, Phelps fell into depression, doubting his own worth after every major competition. He admitted, "I can't control everything that happens to me. When I learned to focus only on what I could control, like my swimming technique, my training schedule, my recovery, the rest, I let it play out however it would. I felt a huge sense of relief, and my results improved." Phelps learned to free himself from the obsession with being perfect and found freedom in what he could actually master. Stoic philosophy drives this point home in a profound and practical way. Epictetus once said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us." You can't control the outside world, but you can absolutely control your reaction, your actions, and your attitude toward those external events. That's the greatest power anyone can have, yet very few are willing to practice it. Let's take a quick inventory right now, my friend. You wake up early, ready for a new day, but get a message from a coworker saying your project needs to be redone from scratch. You grab a rushed coffee on your way to work and get stuck in a traffic jam, annoyed that you're going to be late. The meeting begins and your boss changes the target at the last minute, leaving you worried about being judged. In the afternoon, it suddenly rains and your workout plans dissolve into thin air. You come home in the evening planning to rest, only to find out your child is sick at school, or you get a call from a family member complaining about something. Each situation pushes your emotions to a peak of frustration, discouragement, and helplessness. But try pausing for a moment and asking yourself, can I control the weather, other people's attitudes, or unexpected mishaps? If not, let it go. Instead, focus on what you can do. Adjust your attitude, make backup plans, keep your composure, and take better care of yourself. Accepting uncertainty is not surrender. It's the wisdom and strength of a mature person. When you focus only on what you can control, you'll feel lighter, more grounded, and locked in on your real goals. Just like professional athletes, they don't waste time complaining about their opponents, the referees, or the audience. They train themselves. They live within their own circle of influence. Start with small things. Control your breathing, your attitude, your schedule, and how you respond to criticism. Gradually, you'll see that external pressures no longer weigh you down like before. Your mind will become clearer, more focused, and more at peace than ever. Maybe you can't control everything in life, but you can control yourself, and that is true freedom. Step 4. Practice stillness. When you learn how to control what you can and let go of the rest, there comes a moment when you realize, beneath every effort to change, what your soul truly needs is a place to pause. A moment of stillness in the whirlwind of life. A space where you can set aside all worries, burdens, and the chaos outside to truly listen to yourself. This 4th step isn't about running away from reality. It's the art of mastering and deeply connecting with yourself, even as storms rage around you. Have you ever wondered why, no matter how hard you try, your mind still spins with endless thoughts? Sometimes you just wish you could sit down and let everything stop moving, to let your heart finally settle. But in this world, stillness is becoming a luxury. According to the Oxford Dictionary, stillness is a state without noise or movement. It is complete peace. But in truth, stillness isn't about the absence of sound. It's about the presence of a clear light in your mind. It's the moment you realize that despite all the chaos out there, you can still return to your own quiet place, where every thought and feeling is illuminated, released, and eventually calmed. Look around you, and you'll see that everything in nature is the same. The clock ticks, then falls silent for a brief pause. The sun rises and sets. Winter's frost gives way to budding sprouts and blooming flowers. Trees grow, their leaves turn brown and fall, enriching the soil for the next season. Our lives are just like this. Everyone grows up, changes, faces time, and we all go through waves of upheaval, joy and sorrow, success and failure. Strangely enough, it's in those quietest moments that we find ourselves most clearly. Stoic philosophy, taught thousands of years ago, spoke of the power of stillness. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who faced wars, responsibilities, and endless storms, once wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Do you see yourself in those words? How many times have you rushed to find a place to escape pressure, only to realize all your worries have followed you home? The truth is, you don't need to go anywhere, nor do you have to wait for your circumstances to calm down. All it takes is the courage to sit down, be silent, observe your breath, listen to every noise echoing in your mind, and then gently guide your thoughts back. That's the art of stillness. Today, with our phones always by our side, social media never sleeping, and notifications flashing by the minute, it seems there's no space left for peace. Studies show that our brains are growing ever more exhausted from the digital noise. Yet all ancient wisdom emphasizes the power of stillness. As the Bible once wrote, "Be still and know that I am God." In stillness, you can finally hear the voice of your soul, not screaming, but softly reminding you with clarity and wisdom. Try this small experiment, my friend. Set aside 10 minutes each day. Turn off all devices. Step away from music, social media, and everyday conversations. Let there be nothing but your breath, your awareness, and you. Don't force yourself not to think, just observe. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the present, as if soothing a child. This repetition will be your greatest teacher. In stillness, answers appear, worries melt away, and you find a clarity that no advice, book, or motivational video could ever give. Remember, stillness is not a destination, but a path. It is the art of turning inward, moving beyond fear, ego, and all assumptions. With daily practice, you don't just calm your mind, you gradually become the master of yourself, just as Marcus Aurelius emphasized. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Guard your mind as you would your life itself, because deep down, that is your true life. It may be hard at first. Quiet can make us restless. But then you'll see when everything out there is in chaos, you can still find a place of strength within yourself. And there, peace, wisdom, and courage will walk with you, guiding you through every storm life brings. Step 5. Understand the power of awareness. The essence of existence does not come from the material world, but from the realm of inner consciousness. Have you ever wondered why, when faced with the same event, some people can walk through it calmly, while you can't stop dwelling on it? Neville Goddard, in his book The Power of Awareness, said, "Our external reality is the truest reflection of our thoughts, emotions, and the deepest beliefs in our minds. We are not simply being, but being aware of ourselves. That awareness, in the way of the Stoics, is the first gateway to inner freedom." Maybe you've had a day like this. Everything seems fine on the surface, but in your head, old voices keep echoing, "I'm not good enough," "No one will ever understand me," or "I've failed again." Those thoughts creep in like dark clouds, casting a shadow over your whole day. You wonder, how do I break out of this endless loop? And maybe, like so many men I've met, you choose to ignore it, or try to drown it out with busyness, a beer, or a few hours scrolling on social media. But the more you run, the louder the noise in your head grows. Because as the Stoics once said, toxic thoughts only truly have power when you believe they are who you are. In reality, You are not your thoughts. You are the observer, the awareness standing behind, quietly watching every movement of your mind. I remember the story of Nick, a colleague of mine who used to be an outstanding sales team leader. He had everything: skills, experience, a stable income, yet he was constantly stressed, lacking in confidence, and filled with a restless discomfort he couldn't explain. When we talked, Nick confessed, "Every day, I hear this voice in my head blaming me. Every time I make a mistake, I replay it over and over, imagining myself failing, being looked down on by my colleagues. I hate that feeling, and the more I hate it, the harder it is to escape." Then one day, Nick tried something simple. Whenever a negative thought popped up, he would just pause, look at it like a cloud passing through the sky, and name it. This is worry, or this is fear of rejection. He no longer let himself be swept away by it. Just observe, no judgment. Strangely, after just a few weeks, Nick noticed those thoughts still appeared, but they no longer had a grip on him like before. He started to feel a lightness and a sense of freedom from within. In psychology, this is called cognitive diffusion, the ability to separate yourself from your thoughts so they no longer control your emotions or actions. The Stoics liken the mind to the sky, not a storm to be controlled, but a vast sky to be observed. The clouds of thought are just passing guests. Your awareness is the unchanging sky, the calm behind all the turmoil. So what's the solution? Start with one small action. When a negative thought shows up, don't argue with it and don't drown in it. Just pause, take a deep breath, and name it. Remind yourself, this is a thought, not a fact. You can write it down on paper or just whisper it in your mind. Repeat this every day, and you'll see your awareness grow stronger, while the power of toxic thoughts naturally fades away. If you've ever felt like your mind was a storm you couldn't control, remember, you are not that storm. You are the observer, the sky that remains clear and blue, no matter how many clouds pass through. And I want to hear your own experience. Have you ever tried just pausing and watching your thoughts without judgment? Share your story or moment of awakening in the comments. Who knows, your words might spark hope for someone else who's still trapped in their own clouds of thought. Step 6. Turn pain into strength. Have you ever imagined yourself as a rock in the middle of a river during flood season? The rushing water surges past, battering every edge, leaving you chipped, aching, and freezing. Maybe life is just like that, constantly hitting us with challenges, uncertainty, pain, and endless days that feel lost. But there's a truth we often forget. It's the relentless water that smooths the stone, making it resilient, shaping it with unique lines that only adversity can carve. Let me tell you about Terry Crews, a man known for his powerful physique, who grew up in a family marked by violence and financial struggle. His childhood was filled with long nights of fear, watching his mother suffer and feeling powerless and hurt himself. As he grew up, Terry didn't run from his past. He faced those memories head-on. He spoke openly about his pain, his breakdowns, and his battles with mental health. This courage has inspired millions of Americans, especially men those who often hesitate to reveal their own wounds. Terry proves that only by admitting and confronting pain can we turn it into strength, rise above, and fully live as ourselves. Maybe you felt that way too. You don't have to fall from a pedestal to the depths. Sometimes just losing a key goal, A relationship or failing in a plan can leave you feeling lost and empty, like a stone swept endlessly downstream, searching for a place to rest. What does Stoic philosophy teach us in moments like that? It doesn't tell us to ignore pain or pretend to be tough. It calls us to face our real emotions honestly. Seneca once said, "He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary." Pain is real, but how we perceive it determines whether we break or grow. Everyone faces their own storms, but instead of asking, "Why me?" try asking, "What can I learn from this pain?" Stoicism doesn't teach us to reject our feelings. It teaches us to stand firm, to turn every wound into a part of our inner strength. Pain stops being the enemy. It becomes the raw material for our willpower, a mirror that reflects the strength you can forge out of adversity. Take a moment to think about the times you've failed or lost your way. If you look back with a stoic eye, you'll see that every challenge left you with a precious gem experience: gratitude, resilience. That's the foundation of true focus and lasting inspiration, not the fleeting kind that disappears with your mood. You don't need to become anyone else. Turn your pain into power so that every day you live isn't just about getting by, but about growing, quietly shining amid the ordinary. When you do that, you'll see nothing in this world can sweep away a soul that knows how to turn challenges into inner strength. Step 7. Face, not avoid, your emotions. There are things we'd rather turn our backs on than face head-on. Fear, grief, shame, embarrassment. These uncomfortable feelings can make us shrink away, want to run, or bury ourselves in work, our phones, alcohol, or fleeting pleasures. Maybe you've told yourself, "Just forget it," or thought, "A man shouldn't be weak." That's how we try to protect ourselves from deeper wounds, at least for a moment. Sometimes, avoiding a situation, a person, a place, or anything that reminds us of negative emotions is completely normal. Who hasn't done that? But when avoidance quietly seeps into every corner of your life, making you constantly wary, suffocating every decision, turning into a shadow that haunts you without end, it's no longer self-protection. It becomes a trap, imprisoning you in your own life. Modern men are often taught to be strong, tough, and never allowed to show weakness. But have you noticed? The harder we deny our emotions, the more lost and empty we feel. That sense of drifting, lacking motivation, caring about nothing, it's the result of being stuck in toxic thoughts and refusing to face what we truly feel. Unacknowledged fear, unspoken sadness, unhealed wounds, all these turn into a dull haze, weighing down your mind, draining your energy, blocking your way, and sometimes making you angry for no clear reason. Have you ever asked yourself, why do I feel so empty, even though on the surface everything seems fine? Or felt like you're standing at a crossroads, not knowing which way to turn? That's when your mind is calling out to you, asking for the courage to go back, face, and listen to the emotions you've abandoned for so long. The Stoics taught us, we cannot control every circumstance, but we can always control how we respond to our own feelings. Instead of running away, try stopping for a moment, taking a deep breath and ask, what am I really feeling right now? Don't judge. Don't force yourself to be positive right away. Just recognize and name your feelings, whether it's fear, disappointment, anger, or sadness. Only when you're brave enough to face what you don't want to face do those feelings begin to fade. At first, it may be uncomfortable. Your eyes may sting, your hands may tremble, or your chest may tighten. But that honesty with yourself is the first step toward healing. Emotions in themselves are not the enemy. They are messages reminding you that something is unresolved, that there's a wound needing care, a pain needing to be embraced and understood. A Stoic isn't someone without feelings, but someone calm enough to observe, strong enough to recognize, and wise enough not to let emotions control or mislead them. Here's something strange. The more you dare to face your feelings, the less power negative emotions hold over you. That's also when you regain clarity, motivation, and the inspiration to keep moving forward, transforming your emotions into inner strength, turning challenges into opportunities for growth. That is the mark of someone who lives with the Stoic spirit. And when you do this, you'll find you're not just clearing your mind of toxins, but opening the door to true freedom, focus, and peace. You've come this far with me, to the point of bravely confronting your deepest emotions. But the journey doesn't end here. The next step, we'll explore together one final powerful secret, the art of letting go, to truly free your mind and live each day with lightness. Are you ready? Step 8. Practice the art of mental release. Although there are countless ways to combat stress, art therapy offers a unique and creative outlet, not only easing tension, but also nurturing the creativity within us. Rooted in both art and psychology, art therapy opens up a safe space for you to freely express emotions, explore pain, face your fears, and find peace amid the chaos. But have you ever stopped to wonder, what truly keeps your mind restless? Is it the silent burdens you carry every day, resentments, unspoken anxieties, or old regrets that refuse to let go? Pause for a moment. Be honest with yourself. How many painful memories are you carrying? How many bitter words? How many vague fears about a future that hasn't arrived? Sometimes we replay old stories in our heads, tormenting ourselves with unhealed wounds, or endlessly worrying about things beyond our control. You're not alone. All of us have, at one point, been victims of our own minds, adding to our suffering by holding on to what should have been let go long ago. Seneca once said, "He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary." The Stoics called this self-inflicted suffering. We drown ourselves in regret and fear, forgetting that peace can only come when we learn to let go. The mind, like a vessel, cannot hold peace if it is already filled with resentment, anxiety, and regret. Have you ever tried to truly relax in real silence? When was the last time you allowed yourself just a few quiet minutes to listen to your breath, to let all the outside noise fade until it's just you, face to face with your own mind? That is when you practice the art of mental release. I'm not talking about forgetting or pretending you've never been hurt. I'm not telling you to forgive those who hurt you just because they deserve it. You forgive for your own peace. You choose to set down the burden, not for others, but because you deserve to live light and free. The art of letting go isn't a miracle that erases all wounds. It's the courageous process of accepting them, then gently setting them down so you can move forward. It's the choice of a mature and self-possessed mind that knows it is not defined by past pain. You can start with the smallest steps. Spend 5 minutes each day in silence, no music, no social media. Just sit, close your eyes, and notice each breath in and out. Whenever a negative thought arises, picture it as a cloud drifting across the sky of your mind. You only need to observe, not hold on, not push it away. If a strong emotion shows up, anger, fear, regret, name it, acknowledge its presence, then let it dissolve gently into the silence. This is how your mind gradually learns to let go, not by clinging, not by trying to control everything, but simply by being present with yourself. Science has proven that practices like meditation, or even just sitting quietly and observing your mind, can reduce the activity in the brain regions responsible for stress, increase emotional resilience, and ease anxiety symptoms. This is not just theory, it's the real result of daring to let go, allowing those mental toxins to flow out with each breath. An ideal mind is not one without thoughts, but one that knows how to let go of what is unnecessary. You cannot savor the sweetness of life if you keep holding on to the poison inside. Letting go is not surrender. It is the highest form of inner strength. It is a conscious choice to live free, to give creativity, peace, and joy the space to flourish within you. So, choose a moment each day to practice the art of letting go. Let silence wash your mind clean. Practice forgiveness first for yourself, then for what's past. You'll realize peace does not lie in controlling everything, but in knowing when to set things down. And from there, life becomes gentler, your mind opens wider, and you'll be ready for all the bright things ahead. So, together, we've just walked through 8 Stoic practices to free your mind from toxic thoughts and build unwavering focus from within. From recognizing negative loops, facing your inner critic, controlling what you can, and letting go of the rest, to cultivating stillness and mastering the art of release, each step is a weapon you can truly wield, not just to overcome challenges, but to create real peace and inner strength in modern life. But in the end, the most important question is for you. Will you stop at just listening? Or will you start practicing so your mind becomes your ally, not your enemy? Among these 8 steps, which do you find the most challenging for yourself? Share your story or experience in the comments below, because you never know if your words might inspire someone out there. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss upcoming videos on mastering Stoic philosophy and training your inner strength. Your journey is only just beginning, and I'll be here with you every step of the way. Don't forget to check out the videos displayed at the end of the screen to keep exploring the true power within you.